Good afternoon and welcome to More Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today I will be discussing with you the helicopter mode for the newly released Transformers Legacy United G1 Sandstorm. I hope that you stay a while and listen, and I hope that you go below and hit the like button, share, and subscribe, because here at Blind_Prime we raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired through alternative means and methods, and this is including to but not limited to Transformers. So, today we're going to have a fun video. We're going to compare this Transformers flight mode to the Sandstorm's flight mode, to Astrotrain's flight mode, to Springer's flight mode, to Blitzwing's flight mode, and we're going to try and do it all within 15 minutes. Here's hoping. And all of those individuals of you who shared my videos last month in May, I got 15 shares, the largest amount of shares my channel's ever gotten in a single month. 2 thumbs go up, way up to you, my friends and my fans. Thank you so much for sharing my content, and please continue to do so. Every share that you do goes a long way to helping me, locate more blind people. It's difficult for us blind people to look around and see another blind person. We sometimes got to get a sighted person to point the blind out. So please, point the blind out. Tell them about me. Leave comments on their videos telling them about me. Get them interested in Blind_Prime for me, because with your help, we can do a lot to raise awareness for the blind and visually impaired. So thank you so much for helping me accomplish this goal. And without further ado, let's get into this wonderful vehicle mode. All right, first off, we're going to bring out the handy dandy Lego pad. Yeah, the handy dandy Lego pad. Ooh, look at it. It's all shiny. It's got a bunch of tiles on it now. I tiled it up. I don't even know what's on here. It feels like a couple of them are printed tiles. If you see a printed tile you like, let me know in the comments. Let's see. Let's bring him up, put his tail there and his nose there. We got 21 studs tall, if I remember right. Let's see. 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. 23 studs long is how long he is. He is a long guy. He's a big helicopter. Width-wise, he is... boom, right there. Okay, and that gives us a width of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11, and 12. 12 studs wide. That's how wide this beast is. He is a big boy. He is a wide boy. He is also a, not that tall, though. Height-wise, I think he's only like 5 studs. Let's take a look. Boom. Yeah. He is 6 studs tall. My bad. 6 studs tall. That's pretty good. That is pretty good for a helicopter mode. I'll be straight with you. I'll be honest with you about that. I like his helicopter mode. I do. I think it's a lot of fun. I like how all the panels came together to make him feel smooth, but they did add textures to, like helicopter textures. You get the occasional vent. You get some nice feeling arches and roundness here. You get some nice windows. There's a couple of windows on the sides where the sliding doors are. You get some really great textures for those sliding doors on either side. That's really cool. I like that. I think this guy's helicopter mode is superb. He has got wonderful windows on the front. It feels like it may be a smidge smaller in scale than what we normally get, but it feels right. It feels right for this guy. I don't think that they could have done a better job if they had boosted the helicopter mode up a bit. I think that would have been just a little too big, and it would have caused some problems in the transformation. They made it as big as they could, and I appreciate that. Now, the underside of it is very lackluster. There's not any kibble hanging out below, which is good, but you do have these wheels that are folded up on the underside, and then his 2 big wheels on either side of his gun, but as undersides of vehicles go, this is very clean in comparison to other things I've seen. The helicopter is really neat, though. It's got a big round bulbous front. This is a rescue helicopter. And this is the helicopter that in the 80s would have been rescuing you if you had fallen into the water off your boat in the Gulf of Mexico or somewhere else in the world. This was a water rescue craft. It's also a rescue helicopter that they used in forestry services and stuff like that. It's a big, sturdy guy. It can hover really well. It's got a lot of gas, or a lot of fuel capacity, if I remember right. And no, I don't really remember the name of this type of helicopter. It still is a helicopter I recognize by the feel because I've seen it so often. And of course, the Coast Guard have better helicopters nowadays than this, but in the 80s, this was it. In the 80s, this was your guy. This was your safe. You saw this helicopter coming, you knew you were safe. I mean, nowadays, our helicopters are so much better for rescue than what they were back then, but still, this is pretty good. And this is a really good model of one. It's got 4 propellers at the top, and that is a negative on this because, and I'll bring out Springer's top real quick. Springer here, let's set you Copperhead over here off to the side. Copperhead's in next week's video, so Copperhead's going over there. And let's bring out so this propeller section for Springer is on a siege peg, and it spins on its own little peg, and it had connectors to plug his swords in to make 2 blades, but there were 2 male pegs that you could plug 2 other things into to make 2 other blades if you managed to find anything to make 2 other blades out of. But I think they should have done something like this for Sandstorm and given him 4 blades so that they would have all been on equal side, which was the coolest thing about this helicopter. The blades are equal. They're on the same plane, which is amazing. I love it. And I think that would have been something really cool to do with Sandstorm here, is to make all of his blades just little siege peg things, and then make the helicopter part something that can pull out. And then you can have a little world building with it and have some fun. But oh well, that's what they decided to do, which I'm not 100% cool with. Okay, I'll be honest with you on that. Now, continuing with the helicopter feel, like the panels on the sides, there's not really much to talk about. It's just a big, fat, bulbous helicopter. And it comes tapering down to a little bitty tail that sticks up out the top, which is, it's a nice little tail section. I do like it. I was surprised by it because I honestly, and I'll tell you this is a blind people problem. I had forgotten that helicopters had a vertical tail wing in the back. I gotten so used to, messing with attack helicopters like Springer here, and the tail, the tail wing is flat. There's nothing that pops up really far except for this little bitty bit. But I was thinking the propeller was supposed to go sideways. So, I'll pull it off to show you exactly how stupid this was. I thought the propeller was supposed to slip in somehow and go like that on, directly to the rear, not standing up in that peg. So that was something I learned personally, and I called it a blind people problem because most people who've seen pictures of helicopters like, how did you forget that? Like, well, you haven't seen a picture of a helicopter in 6 years, and you've had other things to think about. Do you still remember about the helicopter? Like, can you really tell me everything about that helicopter if you haven't even seen a picture of it in 6 years and you have had other things going on? Anyway, it's just a weird quirk of the human mind. Sometimes things get deleted. Anyway, let's bring in the fun part. Oh, wait, before we do, here it is, the winch. I wanted to talk about the winch before we continue because the winch is honestly one of the cooler parts of this guy. This is a fun winch. This is a really fun winch. You just pull the string out all the way. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? That is nice. Okay, we don't get any cloth goods. I mean, heck, they even cheated when they gave us this source. They told us it would be a metal chain. They didn't say it was going to be a plastic chain that looked metal-like. And I was very upset with that because the metal chain was one of the things I found to be really cool. I was like, oh, wow, they're actually going to put metal in this, like Mattel does with some of its WWE things. I was so surprised when the Wreck and Slam Mobile came with a metal chain. And then my Deathsaurus that I paid almost $300 for doesn't come with a metal chain? Get out of here. That's a thumbs down on you, Hasbro team. Should have given us the metal chain. Anyway, this length of cord is about 32 studs long, and it is a very long length of cord. If you had a flight stand that's really tall, you can actually have a little rescue thing going on. I think that's neat. I like the winch, and I like this little basket. I do wish the basket was a bit bigger, and it wasn't as slick on the inside as it is. I wish there was some way for things to be held in there. If they had managed to put some folding down sides on this so that it's a full cage, and then you could put things inside of it to carry. But at the moment, it'll just slide out the sides, which is a shame. which is a shame. So they tried with this accessory, and I do wish they had given us just a couple more pieces. Just a couple more pieces would have worked. It would have been really, really nice. So roll up this winch, and then we're going to get to the comparison with the other Transformers. So my final review of this helicopter, before we get into comparing him to the other triple changers, is I'm going to give this helicopter a solid 9 out of 10. Okay? This is a good helicopter. It's a weighty helicopter. It's a big helicopter, and it feels like it looks nice. Like it feels nice in the hand. I like it. I like this helicopter mode, and it surprised me. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the helicopter mode, but I do. So let's bring out Springer, helicopter to helicopter as the first bunch, and we're going to set the cage down there on the ground. Okay, Springer here is a longer helicopter than Sandstorm. He's also a taller helicopter than Sandstorm, and he's a wider helicopter than Sandstorm. The biggest difference between him and Sandstorm is his helicopter feels like it's more on the right scale for a human-sized individual when Springer's in robot mode to actually ride in his helicopter when he's in vehicle mode. It feels the correct size. Sandstorm, on the other hand, feels like he's just a size scale smaller in order to put everything into this helicopter that they had to. So Springer is spot on when it comes to scaling for all three, for 2 vehicle modes and his robot mode. And I think Springer's robot mode is scaled pretty well with his dune buggy mode, but the helicopter mode is a different scale, but not a big difference, just a smidge. But those two together, they're pretty nice together. I like the roundedness of Sandstorm more than I like the sharp edges of Springer. But then again, Springer's an attack helicopter, and Sandstorm is a rescue helicopter. So rescue helicopters are supposed to look a little more friendly. That way, you don't want an Apache coming to rescue you. That's not going to look right. That's going to be kind of scary. You get this rounded guy who's got a big round fun face, and you feel a little happy about that. You're like, yeah, it's a rescue helicopter. So let's bring in first off for Astrotrain. Actually, no, we're not going to do Astrotrain first. We're going to do the worst one first because I want to get Blitzwing out of the way. I hate touching Blitzwing. I hate thinking about Blitzwing. I was so looking forward to Blitzwing because in the show, in the storyline and everything like that, Blitzwing is one of my favorite characters because Blitzwing he's had such a good story. He's one of the oldest Transformers out there. He was built by the Quintessons, in order to be and it wasn't just him that was built. It was him and all the triple changers were built to be the security force for the Quintessons. So, his attack mode is an attack, he's an attack jet because, he's made to be an attack jet by the Quintessons in order to take down rebel Transformers. And his tank mode was made by the Quintessons in order to take down that. That's how they chose those alternate modes. And, personally, this has been my kind of secret thing, story-wise, is that all triple changers come from the original Blitzwing design. They just change themselves because, Transformers can change their looks. They can change everything about them. They can take on new forms. So they didn't, whenever the whole Quintesson thing fell apart and they kicked the Quintessons out, I'm pretty sure that triple changers like Sandstorm here didn't want to be a part of war anymore. They were forced to do a lot of bad things by the Quintessons, and I think Sandstorm still had a bit of a, he's still a little messed up because of that. And Springer's not too bad because of that, but an Astrotrain definitely has some mental effects from that. But Blitzwing, mentally speaking, Blitzwing and Springer were the most well-rounded, just because of how they were. Blitzwing definitely had the best on the memory side because he remembered all the way back when the Quintessons were there. I liked Blitzwing a lot. And anyway, it's enough talking about Blitzwing, this hideous, horrible Transformer. He doesn't even sit right because of the way he transforms. Right, so they're about the same length and they're about the same height, but without fail, even though they're about the same weight, Sandstorm is still a little heavier and Sandstorm is a lot better. And Blitzwing is a terrible example of why you should never try to take modern-day technology and recreate a toy from the 80s. We want animation accuracy, screw toy accuracy, because the toys it didn't matter that the toys looked terrible. It didn't matter that he looked terrible right here whenever you were a child, because you had an imagination that was really good, and you made this guy look like a superior MiG, instead of this trash that I have in my hand. Yeah, just trash. It's a POS. That's what Blitzwing is. Okay, now to wash the taste of Blitzwing out of our mouths, let's take a look at Astrotrain. First off, I want to talk about his platform here. Astrotrain's platform for his space shuttle mode, which his space shuttle can fit on, is really cool. If you fold the legs, the arms of this platform forwards until they line up correctly, now you can take Sandstorm here, and we're going to set him down. And that works. That works. I like how you can set Sandstorm down on this platform, and it works as a helicopter landing pad, a helipad. It's a freaking helipad. And if you have your own Siege Astrotrain or the re-releases of it, then give this a test shot. It could look nice. I don't know how it actually looks visually, but it feels like it's perfect. Like this feels like a good little helipad for a rescue vehicle, and I like that. I like it a lot. You can do a little roadway going away from it. It's just nice. So consider that. And I'm trying to put Astrotrain over there whenever I'm supposed to be putting this guy over there. Let's fold this stuff up. There it goes. Just set it down over there. Let's bring out Astrotrain now for the final comparison. Astrotrain's space shuttle mode is not as... Let's see. Actually, no, they are the same length, just about. Weight-wise. Ooh. Weight-wise, they're almost the same weight. Astrotrain is a little lighter than Sandstorm, and Sandstorm's a little more balanced than Astrotrain. Can we balance? Maybe we can balance Sandstorm. Let's see. I want to try. He is really hard to balance. He is not a balanced guy. I don't even know why I'm thinking about the balancing thing, but I just wanted to play with it, because Astrotrain's rear is so much heavier than his front here. Now, comparing the rest of them, the helicopter mode is taller than Astrotrain, or about at the same height. If you take away the guns for Astrotrain, then the helicopter will be a smidge taller. And I just wanted to mention also, Astrotrain here, it's kind of a hideous shuttle. It's like an attack armored shuttle, but the middle is so thin in comparison. And it feels like, the best way I can describe it is imagine a space shuttle in your head. Okay, now go back to where that tail is, and scrape away all the rounded stuff and make it square around where the tail section's at, up to almost to the tip of where the wings are. And then on the front here, imagine that somebody took one of those 80s leg warmers and they put it over the front of a space shuttle. And that's kind of how this feels. It feels like a space shuttle that's got an 80s leg warmer around it on the front. It's just such a weird shape. And I don't know if they were trying to go for toy accuracy or animation accuracy, but I think they were attempting more toy accuracy with this guy. I don't know what they were trying with him, but I do like the Astrotrain. I think it works. It does. And Sandstorm works. So, my overall thoughts and feelings of Sandstorm's helicopter mode, I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I think that if they had just, done a little things, they would have made it a perfect 10 out of 10. But this helicopter blade definitely annoys me. I really wish they had turned it into something like what Siege Springer had. And what happened to that legacy evolution, Energon weapon system stuff? You know how cool it would have been to have 4 swords attached to a spinny thing with that? You could have given them... it would have been neat. It was a missed opportunity. I don't even know what you're trying... that gimmick you just gave up on. Wow, you guys just gave up on it. And y'all didn't give up on the Siege port gimmick, but you gave up on the other thing. And it's just weird. It's just weird that you would. But the combining the weapons together was kind of neat, and it would have been neater if you had actually stuck with it completely and done things like turning helicopter blades into swords. I think that is definitely where Springer wins out, but my overall rating still stands 9 out of 10. So thank you all so much for enjoying today's video, and please go to my channel, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Share, always share. It will always help me, and I will always feel amazing when you share it. So you want to make Blind Prime happy, share my content. And thank you all so much for listening. Until next Prime, we will be talking about the buggy tomorrow. So look out for that. Bye-bye for now.